Good morning, dear students. I am taking now class 9, chapter 1, Matter in our surroundings. In the last class, I have started this chapter. We have discussed about what are matters, what are the characteristics of matters, and we have conducted few activities to understand the characteristics. So, can you able to explain what is matter? Yes, you all know matter. Matter is nothing but anything which occupies certain space and which have certain weight. That is known as matter. So everything in the universe which have certain weight and mass is known as matter. So it includes both living organisms and non-living organisms. And we have discussed about the characteristics. Which is the first characteristics of matter? Yes, matters are made up of particles. Everything in the universe is made up of particles. In the matter, particles are present. And we have understood there is a empty spaces between the between the particles. There is empty spaces between the particles of matter. How? By conducting that experiment. What is that? When we added sugar to the solution, it occupied the empty spaces in between the water molecules. And one more characteristics, second characteristics, particles of matters are continuously moving. Particles of matters are not stationary. There is a movement of particles, but most of the time we cannot see through the naked eye. In case of solid, we can't see this movement, but in case of solid and in case of liquid and gas, in case of liquid and gas, we can observe this movement of particles. And when these particles of matters are continuously moving, they possess kinetic energy. And what is kinetic energy? The energy possessed by the body when it is in motion. And when you increase the temperature, this kinetic energy increases. The particles move faster. See, if you take the example of boiling water, okay, when you add to the cold water, there you cannot see the fast movement of particles. And when you add tea powder to the hot boiling water, there is a quick movement of particles throughout the solution. That is nothing but diffusion. The intermix of two different particles by its own is known as diffusion. And when you cook the rice also, we don't just put the rice in the water while cooking the rice. First we will boil the water, then we will add the rice to the vessel, rice to the utensil, so it can cook quickly. And so the process of diffusion, this characteristics of particles, diffusion increases when it is heated. Diffusion becomes faster when it is heated, when you increase the temperature of the substance. In addition to this, there is another property of matter, that is, particles of matter attract each other. Let us understand. Okay, I will give one example. You might have played the one traditional outdoor game, Hulidana Ata. See, in that you will form one circle and there is one catcher and one runner. So the catcher is a tiger and this runner is a cow. So, and the group tries to you will form the chain, and you will form the circular chain, and you will try to protect this. You will try to save this cow from the tiger. So you will form the strong bond, and you will hold your hands strongly, and you don't allow the tiger to enter the circle. So this is one example for how the this is one example I can give the about the bonds between the particles. See, when you hold your hands tightly, when the bond is stronger, you the tiger can't enter into the circle. So there is strong bond, the bond is strong, that is why. And when you hold your hands loosely, the tiger is able to enter the circle. If you break the chain, if you break the bond, the tiger can enter the circle, and it can catch the cow. Like this, if the bond is stronger, it is difficult to break, and if the bond is loose, it is easy to break the bond. And one more example it is given in the textbook, that is, take the things such as iron nail, chalk and rubber band. Which one you find it easier to break? It is easy to break the chalk compared to the rubber band and iron nail. You can't easily break the rubber band also, because if you try to break, it will be stretched, and if you put more effort, if you put more pressure only, it can be breakable compared to chalk. And iron nail, it is harder to break the bond, because it is a metal. The particles are packed very closely, very tightly. These three things are solid, but still there we can see in case of some substance, the bond between the particles is very stronger. In some cases, the particles are held with a greater force. So when the particles are held with a less force, it can be easily breakable, and when the particles are held together with a great force, it is difficult to break the bond. And also, if you take the example of liquid, try to hold your hands, try to cut the flow of water in the tap water. Are you able to break the bond between the particles? Can you break the water into two parts? No, it is not possible, because there is flow of water, there is continuity, and the bond is stronger. The particles are closely held together by the bond. There is some force of attraction you can feel when you hold your finger. You can feel there is some force is pushing downwards when you hold the finger in the tap water. So this activity helps us to understand the particles are helps us to understand the force keeps the particles together. There is some force acting on the particles that keeps the bond stronger. The strength of this force of attraction varies from one kind of matter to another. This force of attraction between the particles is not similar in all the particles. It varies from one particle to another. Till now we have discussed various characteristics of matter, such as the matter is made up of particles, there is continuity of the flow of particles, there is continuity in the movement of particles, and there is some force of attraction between the particles, and one more, there is some space between the particles, there is some empty space between the particles. These are the property we have discussed till now, but it applies to some matters. It does not completely all the particles do not follow or do not have all these characteristics. It varies from one matter to another, one particle to another, because the particles are not same in all the matters. So based on certain characteristics, we can classify the matter into three types. They are solids, liquid and gas. These are the three states of matter. Now let us discuss what are the characteristics of these states of matter one by one. First, let us understand the characteristics of solid. The first state of matter is solid state. Take some materials like geometry box, tin, and a pencil, then a thread and one needle, and try to draw the shapes of these things on the sheet of paper. What is your observation? You are able to draw the shapes of these geometry box and tin and then thread and needle. You can able to draw the shapes, but and try to compress these things. Can you compress easily? Does it changes its shape? So you cannot compress the shape of the geometry box and a tin and thread and also a needle, because these are solid materials. And can you collect anything? Can you store anything in these things? If it is empty, yes, you can store the things. It have particular volume, so you can store any things in the tin, in the geometry box and all. So now let us discuss about the characteristics of these solids. From this we can conclude that this solid, from this activity we can conclude that, from the above example we can conclude that solids have definite shape and it have the boundary. There is distinct boundary and it have fixed volume. There is a fixed volume. And can you able to compress these solid materials such as geometry box or the piece of iron bar? You are not able to compress this, so they have negligible compressibility and they have the tendency to maintain their shape when you apply the force. You can't change its shape of the object, solid material, so easily, and if you try to compress its shape, it may break, but it does not change its shape, so they are rigid. But in some materials such as rubber band, try to change the shape. Can you change the shape? Yes, you can change the shape. The rubber band is stretchable, so there is change in shape, but again when the force applied only it changes its shape, but when there is no application of force it regains its shape. And in case of sugar or salt, what happens when you put in a tin or the jar? It acquires the shape of the jar or the container, but can you say that it changes its shape? No. Only the mass, it only acquires the shape of the container, but if you take each crystal of salt or the sugar, it remains the same. There is no change in the shape of the particular crystal of salt or the sugar crystals. And when you take the sponge and when you compress it, there is compression, it changes its shape. And what is the reason? Because there is air spaces, there is gap, there is gap between the particles, so when you compress this sponge, the air is removed from the empty spaces, so it changes its shape. This is the reason why these things have little different characteristics being a solid. In the iron, the particles are closely held. The particles are very denser. They are closely packed, and in compared to the particles of the sponge. So that is nothing but density. What is density? Density is the mass per unit volume. You have to take the you can take the small area of the iron and small area of this sponge. Compare the particles present in these things. If you compare the particles of these two things, iron and sponge. In the iron, the particles are denser. The particles are packed closely. There is more force of attraction between the particles when you compare it to the particles of sponge. This is nothing but density. Density is equal to mass per unit volume. Example, iron nail and sponge. Now let us discuss the characteristics of liquid state. Collect some substances such as water, cooking oil, milk and juice and put in the container. Or the simple example, bring, it is measured, the milk is measured in the packet, measured and put. So you bring half liter of milk or the 500 ml of milk and put it in the jar. Put it in the measuring jar. So what is the measurement it is showing? It is showing the measurement of same 500 ml. In the measuring jar also you can see the measure. You can read the measure 500 ml. So when you change the container, when you change the cover also, there is no change in the measurement of the liquid, or the substance remains in the same amount. And take the same milk and measure in another measuring jar or in the beaker. What is the measurement now showing? The measurement is showing same. It is 500 ml only. There is no change in the measurement. The amount remains the same. So what do you conclude from this? We can say that when you change the shape of the container, it acquires the shape of the container. When you take the liquids in the container, it acquires the shape of the container, but the quantity remains the same. There is no change in the quantity. There is no change in volume. So we can observe that from this we can say the characteristics of liquid like this way. Liquids does not have the fixed shape, but it have the fixed volume. There we can observe there is fixed volume, but there is no fixed shape for the liquid, and it acquires the shape of the container when you are placed in the containers, and it is flowable. The liquids are flowable. When you put on the floor, it does not acquire any shape. There is no shape, so they are not rigid. Liquids can flow and they do not have the shape, so they are not rigid. Why they are not rigid? Because liquids flow and they can change its shape. There is no change. There is no particular definite shape for the liquid. So this type of things matters, we call it as fluid. Liquids also known as fluid. In the last class, I have conducted one activity showing that the solids are diffused into liquid. So when you add the salt crystals or the sugar into the water, what happens? The salt will intermix with the water and it will become salt solution. Or when you add sugar to the water, it becomes sugar solution. What happens? There is change in the states of matter. So here the solid particles diffused into liquid. finally we get the liquid. There is no solid particles remained in the solution. So we can say that solids and liquids, or when you intermix two liquids, milk and water, what happens? Finally you will obtain the liquid only. There is no change in the shape. The liquid will diffuse into liquid and solid will diffuse into liquid only. So the solids and liquids can diffuse into liquids. So also we can say some more things about this. In the atmosphere, gas is also diffused into the liquid. See how these aquatic animals breathe, because in the water bodies, oxygen is diffused into it. So this oxygen or the carbon dioxide is used by these aquatic animals. So the fishes, frogs can able to survive in the aquatic bodies. So all the aquatic creatures able to breathe and survive in the water bodies. So we can conclude that there is gases. Which gases? Oxygen and carbon dioxide is diffused in the water. So from this all things we can conclude that solids, liquids and gases can diffuse into liquid. The solid, liquid and gases diffuse into liquid. Finally the product will be in the liquid form only. The rate of diffusion of liquids is higher than that of solids. The rate of diffusion of liquids is higher than that of solid, means liquid particles easily diffuse into liquid, but the rate means the quickness of diffusing solid materials in liquid is slow compared to the liquid intermixing with liquid diffusing into liquid. The reason is because the particles in the liquid is little movable compared to the particles in the liquid is can move freely compared to the particles of solids, because in the liquid there is space between the particles compared to the particles of solids. The solid particles are arranged very tightly, the particles are held tightly compared to the particles of liquid. In the particles of liquid there is free space, so the particles can move freely in liquid state, so they can flow. So these are the characteristics of liquid. Now let us move on to the characteristics of gaseous state. Have you seen the balloon seller is selling the balloons? Can you find out which gas is present in the balloon and what is the weight? Does it have any weight? And when you leave the balloon, what happens? What is the reason? It will fly off. You have to hold it tightly, otherwise it will fly off. What is the reason for these things? Okay, you just find out. In the textbook there is one activity. I will show this activity for you.
Friends, we see many colorful things around us. If somebody asks you to categorize above materials, you would probably say pencil, eraser, chalk pieces are solids, water, ink, various colored juices are liquids, and inflated balloons, smoke of the incense stick are in a gaseous state. Let us see some interesting properties of the matter in different states. We will start with an empty syringe. We will put some chalk pieces in it and press the piston harder. You would see the piston, after muscle force, the chalk pieces are allowed to break down. They break down in small pieces in a powdered form. You would see how these powdered pieces are being put back in the syringe. Repeat the same for the liquids. We will close the nozzle and pour a colored liquid in a syringe. Close it down with the syringe piston and press it to remove the air from the volume of the syringe. We will see the liquid takes the shape of the syringe. Now we will do it for the gas using the smoke of the incense stick. Put the piston and cover the mouth of the syringe with the tip of your finger. We will start using the stoppers to close the mouth of every syringe. We can see for the solid, liquid and gas, we have provided a stopper. Now we compress it harder to see whether the change of the chalk powder are compressed. We can't see any. The liquids, can it be compressed? It can't do the same. But in the gases, you see it can be compressed better than solids and liquids. You can provide extra force to see how dense the gases can be seen in the syringe. What we learn here is solids have a regular shape and closely packed molecules which doesn't allow us to compress further. Liquids have loosely packed molecules which allows little to compress, but here you can't see with the muscle power. But in the case of gases, the molecules move in all direction at faster speed with large interspacing, and you can see it compress very easily.
From this activity, what you can conclude? So from this activity we have observed that the gases are highly compressible compared to solids and liquids. And also in our home we use this gas for cooking. The liquefied petroleum gas LPG cylinder is used for the cooking purpose. And also in the hospital oxygen supplied through the cylinder. So this also a example for compressed gas. And one more thing, compressed natural gas that is used in the vehicles. So these compressible gas is easy to store in the small place. Do you think there is a weight for the cylinder? Yes, there is weight. There is particular weight. The gas particles contain certain weight in the cylinder. You can feel that when the cylinder is empty, there is no weight, and when the cylinder is full, there is a particular weight. So large volume of gas can be compressed into a small cylinder and it is easy to transport. So these are the characteristics of these gases. Without knowing what is cooked in the kitchen, you can make out what special dish is prepared in the kitchen. So how it is possible? Because the particles of aroma of food is mixed with the particles of air in the kitchen. So they move randomly and occupies all the spaces in the environment, in the area. So there is no particular direction for movement. The particles of matter, the particles of aroma of food mix with the particles of the air. So they will spread very quickly. There is quick movement. They move very quickly when it is hot. They move very quickly and we can make out the aroma of the smell of the food. And this smell and it is easy to get and we can make out easily the food and we can easily make out the smell of hot food compared to the smell of cold food. You won't get the smell of the cold food because the particles when the particles are hot, when the temperature increased when you increase the temperature, the particles diffuse very quickly compared to the particles when it is cold. That we have studied in the last class. The rate of diffusion increases when the temperature increases. And also when you compare the rate of diffusion of solids and liquid, the rate of diffusion of gas is very high compared to solid and liquids. So we can observe the property of diffusion in gases very high. And when you blast the balloon, the particles will move in which direction? There is no direction. They will move in all the direction. Like that, when the balloon is blew, the particles are randomly moving in all the directions. So they exert the pressure on the wall of the container. Or if you take the example of pressure cooker, when you increase the temperature of the pressure cooker, the particles, the gas particles, they will boil the food. The particles inside the cooker will boil, and the particles inside the cooker, when you increase the temperature of the cooker, the particles move randomly and they will move in all the direction. They will hit on the walls of the container. So they exert the pressure on the wall of the container. The pressure exerted by the gas is because of the force exerted by the gas particles per unit area on the walls of the container. Means this pressure, the pressure of the cooker, pressure is nothing but the force exerted by the particles. So when you increase the temperature of the pressure cooker, there is more force. They will start whistling because the particles are able to apply the force on the all side on the walls of the container. So they exert the pressure and they are able to whistle. That you can observe in that is the application of pressure cooker. Now let me explain in brief what are the characteristics of gas. The gas particles do not have any shape. And they do not have any fixed volume, but they have weight, and the particles are not rigid. They move randomly in all directions and they will exert the pressure on the wall of the container. These are the properties of gases. In today's class, we have discussed about the different states of matter and its characteristics. In the next class, let us learn more about these states of matter. What happens to the matter when we increase the temperature? Let us discuss in the next class. Thank you.